Ah, Moldova, you know it, you love it. To be fair, you've probably had to Google it. But what makes the Moldovan flag extinct? And why is it oddly familiar blue, yellow and red tricolour? And what if I were to tell you that there's another Moldova flag out there that's supposed to be hush-hush? In this episode, we'll explore the history of the Moldovan flag to discover its twins, yes, plural, and the secret it harbours that's still in use today. Welcome to this Moldovan Flags in 50 Places. The Republic of Moldova lies northeast of the Balkan Peninsula in the southeast Europe and borders Ukraine to the east and Romania to the west. But more on Romania later. Moldova's modern flag officially came into existence on the 6th of November 1990, but its roots go back way further. So let's rewind to the Middle Ages when the Principality of Moldova was formed in the 14th century and presented this banner, which was typically red with an oryx. More about the wild ox later. This here is Stefan the Great, who ruled over this land between 1457 until his death on the 2nd of July 1504. And during this time, this princely banner was used and outlived him by a few centuries and symbolised strength and courage. And after a few battled flags that appeared to have bat wings, we fast forward to the mid-19th century, by which time Moldova was well into its on-off relationship with neighbouring Romania. It was a complicated thing, but at some point became a part of Russian Empire. After the Russo-Turkish War of 1877-78, the flag changed once again, this time taking the colours of the empire. In 1980, Moldova, then called Bessarabia, briefly reunited with Romania, and that's when things start to look familiar. Moldova adopted the Romanian United Principalities horizontal tricolour, blue for air and sky, yellow for the sunshine, and red for fire and the blood shed for the sacrifice of the country, which represented its shared culture and historical roots with Romania. After World War II, however, Moldova found itself in the Soviet sphere of influence, and the flag changed yet again to, yes, you guessed it, feature the classic Soviet hammer and sickle, and went through the usual various Soviet-style changes until finished with this catchy little number, which never really leaves Moldova, even to this day. But more about this shortly. As the Soviet Union fell, Moldova reclaimed its independence in 1991, and the flag we know today was officially adopted. So what's up with Moldova's current flag? Well, Moldova kept the same colours as Romania's flag, blue, yellow and red, but it added its own identity by placing the national coat of arms in the centre of the yellow stripe. The coat of arms is a stylised version of the 1300s design and has some serious symbolism going on. The central eagle holds a cross in its beak for the 90% Orthodox Christians of the country, while the olive branch represents peace and the sceptre represents sovereignty. In the shield we have not a flower but the sun, and alongside the crescent moon, which, unlike many countries with crescent moons, does not represent Islam here. There's an 8-pointed star, and below this is the new face of the oryx right in the middle, which means this bovine bullock has been Moldova's face for over 600 years, on and off. Which is intriguing because the animal became extinct in 1627 when the last female auroch was killed in Poland. And when I say extinct, apparently I mean in cladistic terms. And if you have a problem with this point, remember I'm a vexillologist, not a paleontologist. That's oxes' heads on it, and it looks like to me some sort of thing that you'd appear on the wall of an abandoned cellar in a paranormal activity film. Fun fact, Moldova's tricolour is almost identical to Romania, but the coat of arms is the key difference, obviously. So when you're in Moldova, you know exactly which country's flag you're looking at. No coat of arms? Well, it's Romania, a majestic eagle and a bullock's face. You're in Moldova, my friend, plus the shades of blue are ever so slightly different. It doesn't matter. I could also cause real confusion and throw in Andorra just for laughs. You'll find the exact same coat of arms on the city of Chisinau, where I am at the moment. However, the flag is white and the eagle sits within a blue shield this time, above what looks like at first glance a crown, but it is in fact 7 towers to represent the 7 hills that the city is built on. It became official on the 31st of July 1930. That said, I'm sure the Soviets had something to say about its use during their occupation. And talking of Soviets, there's still more to come from them even after Moldova's independence in 1990. But before I explain, let's cover the very obvious point that you must all be thinking right now, that of Moldova being a landlocked country. Yes, Ukraine just wouldn't let them have a coast, not even a slither. But don't think it's left out of the maritime scene. Moldova uses its flag on naval vessels, mostly on the Danube River, which connects Moldova to the Black Sea through its ports. And while Moldova doesn't have a full navy, it still flies its flag proudly on riverboats and merchant vessels. And just take a look at these three government standards. You have the purple for the President, which is not to be confused by the red for the President of Parliament, and finally the blue for the Prime Minister, all utilising the same coat of arms, but the Ministry of Defence goes one better, as the eagle finally gets to spread its wings. Now, what about Moldova's secret flag, or at least the one it wants to keep quiet about? And what's it got to do with the Soviets? Enter Transnistria. If you've never heard of it, Transnistria is a breakaway state in eastern Moldova that declared independence in 1990. While it's not internationally recognised, it has its own government, postal service, currency, and you guessed it, its own flag. Transnistria flies the old Soviet flag, complete with hammer and sickle. It's like taking a step back in time. The flag represents the regional's strong Soviet nostalgia, and even though the rest of Moldova is all about independence and European integration, Transnistria holds tight to its Soviet past. The green is for the vineyards and other agricultural lands. The red, well, that's the Soviet bit. It's wild to think that just a few hours' drive from Moldova's capital, you'll find a place still holding on to the hammer and sickle and its old Soviet-styles way of working. And while we're looking at autonomous areas of Moldova, this is the flag of Galazia, not so broken away from Moldova. However, the flag uses the Russian flag colour scheme, and the 3 stars are the 3 municipality areas within the grouping. But the underlying issue of Moldova still has with its national flag is that of its neighbour, Romania, and their flag. The similarities cause concern on occasion, to the point that the Communist Party offered this alternative flag in 2010, and this was suggested in 2018, akin to where they started all those hundreds of years ago. And if you think it's just Romania that has the similarities, then you're mistaken, as there's not one but 2 other flags that come into the mix to cause confusion. And if you want to learn more about that, well, oddly enough, the video's already on your screen for you to click on. Bon voyage!